Hey everyone, so I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about the installation of this wiper. And now that so many of you have downloaded the project and you've got your wipers installed, I'm starting to see a bit of a trend with the wiper not being necessarily parallel to this top plane here. They seem to kind of tip up a little bit. I've seen a few where they tip the other way. I'm not going to show anybody's install to make anybody feel bad because this is really a design flaw on my part, and I want to see if I can offer up a solution. Now, to be fair, I don't think, if this is slightly up or this side is slightly up, or even if the whole thing is slightly up, I don't think it's going to cause any real issue as long as the nozzle never collides with the plastic. And I've also offered, 3 different height offsets, so we can basically position this all the way to 0, and one is 1/2 millimeter up and another one is another 1/2 millimeter up. You do have an option to position these a little bit lower right out of the gate, and then you can raise them up as you need it. But what I want to talk about is maybe a better way that we can drill the holes in the back panel. And the original solution that I offered, which, forgive me guys, sometimes I forget that not everybody has 20 years of machine shop experience, so I've been at this for a very long time and I just kind of do things a certain way. So we originally took this template and we marked the holes, and then we took this off. It's very important to avoid fly cutting that we pre-drill the holes with a smaller drill, and then we take the larger drill and we drill out the holes. And of course we want to make sure that this is as perpendicular to the face as possible. Also, the drill is kind of a big deal too, because if you have a really large drill, it's kind of hard to get it into this area. So you can point it up, or if you can lower the bed all the way, you can point it, put the handle down. But I'm thinking some people are drilling the hole on a slight angle, which is causing the holes to wander. So having a smaller drill, something like this little Milwaukee M12 is good. If you got something even smaller, even better yet. And back to this first design. So the first template, it was just designed to be, kind of held into place. You could even put a clamp here if you had a small enough clamp that wouldn't get in the way of drilling the holes. But you'd mark the holes, as we mentioned, and then take this off. Well, the problems with this is you've got a lot of freedom of movement here. So the only thing that we're constraining is this pressure going down will keep it parallel to this top plane, and pressure going to the side will keep it, from moving side to side. That's okay for just marking the holes, but what I feel is happening is I think people are just drilling straight through, and we're not just marking the holes. So to prevent that from becoming a bigger issue, I made this design here. This one has this little lip with a groove in it that meets this little surface here and the inside of the surface here. And this is actually pretty good. It feels very rigid. It keeps this perpendicular to this, and it keeps things from wandering side to side, from shifting around. But it does have a flaw. You can kind of go up and down. So again, if we're drilling the holes here and we're experiencing any fly cutting because maybe the tip of the drill bit is slightly off center, or we're coming at it on a slight angle, then we're still going to end up with the same issue where this starts to ride up and we're ending up with the holes not in the right spot. So I came up with this one, and I think this is it. I think this is the design that I'm going to release. So we have a surface here, and this surface mates with this plane on the underside. And again, we have the groove. So this keeps everything nice and perpendicular. So when we put this into place, we can't go up, we can't go down, we can't go side to side, and we can't twist. Now, if we were to just drill straight through, which I don't recommend, but if you do, there's a better chance that your holes are going to line up and stay in the right spot. One thing to consider when you're drilling these as well is start on this outside hole, because that's the furthest away from this point here. So if we drill a hole here and then we were to take, let's say, a screw and we put that into the hole, That'll keep things from wandering around when we're back over here drilling the other holes. But again, I don't recommend drilling the hole straight through this template. I would say mark the holes. You can do it with the drill, but I'd say maybe even do it by hand just because you can feel a little bit better. And then once you've got those marked, you can take this off, and again, we'll drill them out with a smaller drill bit to avoid any fly cutting. That way your holes don't end up oversized. One last thing that I'll mention before we drill the holes. I'm using a 1/8 inch drill bit just because this actually turns into just slightly under 3.25 millimeters, and trying to find a 3.25 millimeter drill bit in a kit is pretty rare around here, at least in Canada and probably the United States. Other parts of the world it's probably a standard, but for whatever reason we are still using imperial drill bits. You go to Home Depot and this is what you pick up. So 1/8 inch works really well for the 3 millimeter screws. But if you do have a metric drill kit, you can absolutely use a 3.25. Now, you might have to pre-drill the holes slightly in your template. So just run the drill through the holes first. And then after you've done that, then you can come back and mount the template into place and mark your holes, which we'll do next. So just quickly run the drill through here. That will open them up just enough so that it spins nice and free. Okay, this is feeling pretty good. Put this into place. We'll just give this a little spin. There's one. Right. Now if we come back with the smaller drill, you can just see that the smaller drill finds the center of that mark. Very, very easy. Okay. We come back with the 1/8 inch again. And if there's any burrs here, you can use a deburring tool and just give it a quick, you don't have to go crazy, you just need to remove the burrs so that they're not causing any fitment issues. All right, so this is feeling pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now let's see how it lines up with the wiper. And it looks perfect. I'm just looking through the holes here and it looks perfect. Now we can install the backing plate. We'll just put one screw in first to hold it into place. Now if you have trouble getting your hand back there without it falling, what you can do is actually just roll up a piece of tape with the sticky side out and stick it to your hand and stick it to this, and then you're less likely to drop it. So I'm gonna just do it without the tape. Okay, and before we tighten down the center screw, I'm just going to put in the 2 outside screws, and this makes sure that everything is lined up when we tighten it down. They don't have to go in all the way, just so that they're threaded in a turn or two. And now we can tighten the center screw. All right, so that's good and snug. You don't want to over tighten because that will cause the material to want to spread out, and it'll actually bow out, and your screw holes will not line up anymore. So just give it a good snug. The screw in the center is only for keeping the backing plate in place. That's all it does. And that just allows us to be able to change this wiper very easily. So if the wiper wears out, which this one here has a lot of miles on it, when it comes time to change it out, this just allows me to take this off, and I can easily peel this off and remove anything that's left over, any residue, or I can straight up just print another one. What I plan to do when I start really printing, because lately I've just been testing and doing this stuff, but when I really get to going with printing again, I'm just going to make a bunch of these that are just ready to go. So when they wear out, I can just pop them off, pop on a new one, put the screws in like so, and everything is good. You don't have to worry about alignment. You don't have to have too much downtime. And it's going to be a good, reliable connection, so you can get back to using your printer for what it was intended for, and that's to print things, and you don't want to be spending time tinkering with stuff. One last item to check, and that is the height. I'm just going to make sure that this is good. Now this wiper is the 0 offset, so this is going to be the one that's the lowest. And then you remove the sock just by pulling straight down. I guess this one's never been taken off before. Oh wow. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we take the sock off, and this gives us a little more visibility so that we can see what's going on. To check the height, we'll just position this right here. And I'm not going to push it into the wiper because I don't want to deform the wiper. And we want to look at this top height here. So the top height of these bristles should be no higher than this lip here, or if the sock was on, it should just barely touch the sock at the highest. Well, thank you for watching, and that's about everything you need to know about this new template design. And if you guys have any questions, you can always leave them below, and I do look at every one of them. Thanks for watching.